Hello, dudes. Hello, dudettes. It's again time for another installment of the Ask Ian show, and one of the real foundations of the Ask Ian show is that a lot of the times I do have a general idea what I'm going to talk about. But this week, the decision to record was made like a couple of minutes ago. I was feeling this great surge of energy and felt like I really wanted to talk about something and record something for the occasion. Last time I spent a lot of time talking about energy and creation and how creation happens and how energy moves and how we create as individuals and as a group, as a whole. And I do think this is a good topic to continue. I've been even moving into more of that what is actually it is actually life, our everyday day-to-day life, but viewing it from this energetic point of view. To me, it gives life a lot of meaning. So, if I honor the fact that everything is energy, then everything I do, think, don't do, give my energy to, becomes very important. It becomes very important because everything I give my energy to somehow manifests or is, or what's even a better word here is is somehow created in the physical world, or non-physical, but I believe the non-physical is that's even a bigger mystery than the physical creation to me right now. So I'll in having in mind to keep this simple for me and whoever listens to this is I think it is very important. So everything I give my attention, do or don't do, somehow gets created in the physical realm. Now this is a big statement to make, and a lot to chew, a lot of responsibility to chew on at once. So in my experience, this was a very gradual understanding. It's at first when I heard this concept even or idea, it was about 5 years ago, maybe a little less now, or more even, sorry, more. And instantly something happened to me. It's like one of those moments when you know your life is not going to be the same anymore, and thought I had it all figured out in that moment. But after, or like, what happens is after a year of thought like that, things definitely start to move. Energy gets released, and energy starts moving. And what I did then is I started experimenting on my own, in my own life, with different things: career, money, women, relationships, work, family, like you name it. I started using that concept and seeing where that fits. It's still an ongoing experiment, and it's one of those things that is always deepening as my understanding of it grows. This grows. Like the or better yet, when the more I practice it and talk about it and think about it, the more my understanding of it grows. So I think that's a very good example again about creation. You think something, you do something, you build energy, you gather up energy, and that's how it manifests. It manifests in this talk I'm giving right now. It manifests in my intellectual understanding of the world and my feeling or emotional understanding of this world. And that is creation. I do feel like there's a need to talk about something concrete here, and I believe this is I have this example in mind of today, It's right now. It's Tuesday, and Tuesday in the ancient times was considered a warrior day, warrior energy, like maybe a little aggressive, get things done, energy day. And I think there's a lot to it here. So it, first of all, it's very easy to just say, "Hey, blah blah blah. This is some kind of blah blah blah. Let's say teaching that somebody else has given somewhere." But I don't think it is that simple. It is a teaching that, or I would rather call it the science that has been that is the result of thousands, maybe even millions of years of experimenting and observation. That's another prime example of gathering energy. So how would one come to that conclusion that Tuesdays are more of a warrior type day in the week? So, as I see it, is a group of people, astrologers maybe, or keen observers of life, started observing different days of the week or different days, and they started noticing patterns, and they started noticing how people act, how people react, what people do, what's their current state of being. And they started making these keen observations. And this is how I've approached this. And I really would love it if you, whoever is out there listening, would approach this, or most of your life this way, that if you hear something, you can take it, sit with it, be with it, think about it, and start observing your reality. Start asking questions. From others, and see what comes. If it reveals to be true for you as well. I forgot about where I was going with this. This is one of the things that recently keeps happening to me, and there's so much information that I want to share and talk about at once. It sometimes is a lot to take. So I will do my best. I will do my best to continue. So yeah, Tuesdays, warrior days. And this is what I've observed to be true in this more modern society as well. Like, if you look at Tuesday, if you look at the day like Tuesday and look at the general outlook, people have on a Tuesday. Just observe them and observe yourself. like I just for example, like a very personal example is I just had this feeling or like this bubbling of energy all day today. I was like running around, moving really fast, wanting to let's do it, blah blah blah. And I was really excited, and this force flowed through me, and still I can feel it now. It's one of the things I want to emphasize here is like this isn't like an end all be all thing, meaning that if I say Tuesday is more like a warrior energy day, it doesn't mean it can't be different or that you can't do anything else. Like if you want to rest, of course you can rest, but how I like see it and feel it and receive it is there is it's like going for a swim during the summer or when it's warm. It's much more pleasant, and let's say there's more ease and flow to it. And or maybe a better example would be growing something or planting something. So if you try to grow something during the winter time, like here in Estonia, the ground is frozen, you're probably not going to have a great success at it. But if you plant during warm springtime and add like a new moon cycle to it, your crops or plants or fruit will probably be pretty good during the summertime. And that's how I see this, like this observing of energies. Like there is a certain flow to this life. There's certain rules, certain guides, and if you take the simple concept of Tuesday is more of a warrior energy, get things done type of energy day, then to me it means that it's much easier. You have supportive forces around you and with you to do those tasks and get things done more easily. So it's like your own personal helper is there. I really hope I'm being clear about this. Yeah. And now there is I think I ended the last episode with the example of like mental illness and narcissism and stuff like that. And I believe narcissism is a pretty good example of energetics, because I can get I see a lot of articles being written about narcissists and videos about narcissism, like blah blah blah, these bad people, bad, bad, blah, 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 worst, crazy, you name it. It's like a lot of flack gets thrown towards narcissism and people who have developed narcissistic traits or are depicted as narcissists. How I see narcissism. First of all, I see it as an expression of first suppressed energy, pain, mostly pain, and then and that energy is released as like a defense mechanism for not feeling that pain. So let's say a person who experiences extreme pain in their childhood, how they develop narcissistic traits is, if not being aware, they do everything to basically not feel that pain or hurt they experienced in childhood. So something so great, so painful happened to them, they develop a defense mechanism to not feel it again. And what does a narcissist do? Or let's say, I don't want to do it like this, like a narcissist who is a narcissist. Let's say a person who chooses to play in the narcissistic realm is they try to control everything and try to control that person or situation so that it will go as they want it to, so they don't have to experience that feeling of mostly pain again. So it is my understanding that first becoming aware of this is a big part. It opens up energy for more exploration, and then feeling that pain and being okay with that pain and their feelings in general can create a lot of awareness in that person. Create a lot of awareness of their actions and well, lost my thought a little. God, this keeps happening today. So if a person becomes aware that they have been using that defense mechanism to avoid their feelings, and now they are feeling their feelings, it's like alchemy can happen, and a lot of it's my own personal experience, because I've definitely played in that realm in my life of narcissism, and I've seen it in others, and even people who, let's say, don't think they are like the expression here, playing in that energy, because that's all it actually is. In each moment we get a choice. We can even either go into that pain or suppress it and then start controlling things. And then playing in narcissistic energy, or what has been called narcissistic energy or narcissism. And I think it's a very hateful way of looking at it, and even shameful, and it really doesn't create healing in that person who is in so much pain. They have no choice but to, or they don't know they even have a choice but to control and manipulate, and etc., etc. So in my view, looking at it like this, looking at it like an energy, like a manifestation of energy that has been suppressed and is now released as this shadow type or negative energy. This gives a person more freedom in their healing. And it's, to me, it's a more lovable way of looking at it. It's like looking at it like I'm not a narcissist. That meaning I'm not inherently bad, but hey, I've experienced this pain, and now comes my responsibility that I haven't felt it. I've suppressed it, and I've kept suppressing it, and now I've started controlling people and hurting them not to feel my own hurt and pain. And from that place, it's easier to understand that, okay, I have some pain somewhere down the line that I have suppressed, that I have kept hidden, and it's leaking out in ways that I don't really want it to be leaking out. And okay, looking at it energetically, I can see there is some energy I need to release and be with, and weirdly, some what happens is pain subtly becomes more okay. And obviously it's a continuous practice of seeing that and getting help and having good people around you to help you, and so on and so forth. But what starts happening is pain becomes a little more okay, and then from that place it's easier to be with yourself in all kinds of situations, in positive good situations as well. So, just to sum up, I hope you have questions about this. If it was unclear for you, because I feel very strongly about this topic, and not only with narcissism, but many forms of illness, mental illness, identities that people develop. It is usually a form of suppressed energy somewhere. And that's how I would have people look at the so-called bad things people have developed, shameful things right now. I hope they will be more understood looking at it this way. It's not easy, of course. It's not easy to look at very dark topics like this. Obviously, it's very hard. But hopefully this will bring some clarity. That these are types of energies we as conscious human beings can choose, just the same as the warrior energy of Tuesday. We can choose either to use, go into, or not use, go into. It's always our choice. And practice, this gets a lot easier. With positive energies, I always want to say this because it's easy to go into this negative, more of a negative, darker side of things. I don't want to talk about this, but it is the same with let's say positive energies. I'll have to think of a good example of a positive, what is considered positive, rather, in this our current society. Maybe a people pleaser type of energy is like generally considered a good type of energy. I think that's a good place to end this week's episode. This was a lot of information. At least my head is buzzing a little, or a lot even. And yeah, I hope you have questions. Questions about what was just spoken here, or maybe you have more to say about this, or your own experiences, or don't agree with me and you see it differently. something is coming to me right now is the same, just like pain is powerful energy, so is joy. Um, just as suppressing pain can develop into an identity, just as, or joy, suppressing your joy can also develop into an identity or a manifestation of energy. Shit, I'm going into too deep even for myself right now. I'm confusing myself. So that's more food for the thought for next week's, because I've decided not to, or like get a more of a free schedule for recording these. I like to have more freedom in this. I still like the idea of doing one per week or one per 2 weeks. This seems to be my sweet spot, 1 per 2 weeks. And hope you enjoyed this one. This one was pretty dark in the end there. I just had the kind of feeling to like want to end in a good note, let's say more of a positive note. And I think I have a good a good example of this is a lot of times when a release of energy, let's take this same example of release of energy in the form of feeling your pain, for example, happens, it can bring a lot of joy. And what do I mean by that? Joy can be hidden underneath it. So sometimes a lot of positivity can, or positive things can come from a little uncomfortableness. And I don't want to take this or make this as a golden rule, because I don't think it is, because I don't really believe that we have to like feel all the pain and blah blah blah. Just a good reminder for myself and hopefully for you who's listening, that because I've been feeling pretty uncomfortable this past few days, and there can be good things and positive things about it. But it isn't the only way. There are more ways out there available for us. And I think as we develop as a species and grow, we will the learning route of having to face some challenge or uncomfortableness, it will no longer be necessary, because as a species, as humans, we've learned that energy. We've learned to channel that energy, work with that energy, and now the learning can come in other ways. It can come in, I hope, more pleasant, easeful ways. So we don't have to feel uncomfortable and like unsafe all the time. We can learn while feeling safe and secure and held and supported. That's a good ending right now. I believe that's like the place I hope we are going and moving as a species, is literally learning, growing while we're safe, secure, supported. In my experience, when I feel like that, is actually when I learn the most, and I would even say grow the most, because I take more risks. I dare to go out there more. I challenge myself more to do more. I want to do more because I have this solid foundation underneath me that I will be held, I will be safe, secure if I fail, and or if I succeed as well. That is an energy to have to work with as well. So I believe this is a very good note to end with. Let's move towards learning and growing while feeling safe, secure, held, supported, loved. And let's see where that can take us as a species, as a whole unit of mankind. Fuck yeah! That sounds more fun. So I hope you enjoyed this somewhat dark, maybe at times confusing podcast. I still want to hear. I received a question or a desire for a show, my second or third. So, whoo, it's growing, and I hope to receive more. Yeah. And right now I still feel like there's more to my like introduction to energetics series. So I feel like I want to finish that, but there is always there's room for questions, so I can take a question from you guys, and that's would be the first part of the show, and then I could talk about my crazy energetic seeings, feelings, and that sounds the best way to do it. So good. I will hopefully see you and hear from you soon. Bye for now.